Hey guys, welcome back to Just Talk TV. Right now we're talking about a general topic, something that we like to talk about, and we watched some Netflix, obviously.
Obviously, because of the quarantine, we have a lot of time to watch
A lot of time.
Netflix is our best friend.
Nothing but time. Ooh.
So obviously, with Netflix and a lot of free time, comes one thing: a lot of binge watching. So I think a lot of show that I'm gonna be talking about is a lot of is because of me scrolling Netflix, not knowing what is good and all that, and randomly I just like the cover, I just click it, and I find out it's a hidden gem.
I mean,
So,
there's
how
a
about
lot
you?
of great shows on different platforms,
Yeah.
not just Netflix. You know, you got your stuff on YouTube that we watch. You got your stuff on Amazon
Obviously,
Prime,
TV still exists.
Apple TV. If you went to that,
Astro still exists. Cable TV still exists.
you don't talk about Astro here. That's not Astro's.
So yeah, okay. Cable TV still exists. You know, your HBOs and all that.
The only reason why I watch cable TV nowadays is to watch football.
Yeah, only
obviously.
football. No, seriously.
Don't watch
Once
any
there's
like
a
shows
streaming-
and stuff. Yeah.
Once there's a streaming channel for football, goodbye cable TV, man.
You know who's gonna bring in the football streaming service?
Premier League
Nope, it's gonna be Astro.
gonna be Astro.
They're probably gonna be the ones who are hosting it
Yeah, okay. I mean,
because they own the rights to show the Premier League in Malaysia, right?
if it makes them money, who's the owner again?
Ananda Krishnan. I think.
Another Krishna is gonna be more rich. It's like more money here, bro.
Take my money.
Yeah.
Take it. Take it. You know who'd be great as the owner of all this?
Who?
Tony Fernandez.
Why you say so?
Because he has Asia, right? So
Okay.
he like make some package deals, make it more like affordable to be the wider base.
He's
you know, try and
he's a-
conquer the ASEAN region. You know,
He's a West Ham fan, so
he's a West Ham fan now.
yeah, he's a West Ham fan. I don't know why he bought QPR, but
I thought he was like a United Chelsea fan. or
no,
something.
he's a West Ham fan.
Of all the things in the
Yeah,
world.
yep.
All right, let's kick it
Yeah,
off now and
yes,
talk
yeah.
about our favorite shows
So,
that we
okay.
watched. And these are shows that we finished watching,
Yeah,
and
so
we like. And I start with you, Ladas.
I mean, my first show I'm gonna be talking about is I think you've seen it. It's a Netflix. It's not a Netflix original. I think it's a BBC show that Netflix brought over to the platform. It's called Man Like Mobin, which is a very good show.
Dude,
You've seen that show, right?
yeah,
Yeah.
it is funny.
Very funny.
And I like this choice.
Second generation of immigrants, Pakistani immigrants to be specific. And not only that, is a life about a roadman life. So you know what a roadman is?
I'm gonna guess it's a drug dealer,
I mean, yeah, okay. Essentially, it's like a culture there, lah.
criminal element.
Yeah,
Essentially,
it's like a culture there right now, like a subculture of a roadman, like Big Man Shack
Right.
from London and all that.
man's not hot.
Yeah, man, not thought. You know when they talk very weird. It's like
Skibbity boop bop.
yeah, it's like a new
Pop, pop,
age
pop.
of Cockney lah, like that
Yeah.
that type of cultural thing.
The grime music and
Yeah.
all this stuff.
You know
right?
what? It's like the UK equivalent of mumble rappers lah, something like that. So okay, the premise is him as a roadman, him as a former roadman who's trying to be clean. So
Right.
he's left all that behind to take care of his sister.
Yeah.
So
Without
yeah.
giving too many spoilers away. of
Yeah,
course.
yeah. I mean, but that is the gist of it lah.
We are spoiler
So,
free here
yeah.
at Just Talk TV.
Spoiler free.
Guys. Spoiler free.
Yeah. So he life as a former roadman in Birmingham. So okay, Birmingham. You've been to Birmingham, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So the setting in Birmingham. This is not a spoiler lah, but generally, Birmingham is not really full of local people, if you know what I mean. It's a place full of immigrants or.
Whatever you do, you mean, Dazlan.
Yes, I mean,
For us, it's just about going back to the motherland over there.
Yeah, but
Like,
you
like-
what, mate? You
like,
just sit
you
there.
know that, like, and you know what? I mean, you came here, so we go there.
I mean, you colonize
know?
us, so we come to you.
Just saying, you know.
So okay, what I meant is like Birmingham is full of immigrants, Indian, Pakistanis, and all that. So it doesn't really look like a English town per se. So it really does show another view of how UK is, another side of UK. So you don't have to be like those archetype white guy drinking tea to be English.
You just need to be Pakistani and drink tea.
Yeah, I mean, it's
And it's not called tea; it's called chai.
chai. Okay, chai.
You gotta drink your chai, man.
Yeah.
Like,
So,
jeez.
like in England, a white guy will be serving tea. Is called like a tea server. A Pakistani Indian is called a chai wala.
Chai
So,
wala.
yeah. So okay, it is a pretty good show. No spoilers here. It's pretty good. Comedy, and there's also like, how is it? It really is serious. It tries to hit your heart quite a lot. It tries to give a good meaning and a good moral for you to think about. But other than that, it's a pretty good show. Well written, and bloody damn good.
I like the show. I watched it, and I love Gus Khan.
Yeah.
In this show,
Yeah.
he's really good. Like, he's funny, like in his own element. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, it doesn't feel like he's gone out of his like comfort zone or anything to make a show like this.
Yeah.
And I like how the show. I don't know if you watched this variation of this show that took place in the BBC. All this stuff is done by the BBC, right?
Yeah.
And there was a variation style, an older version of the show called Citizen Khan.
Oh yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Citizen Khan was funny, but Citizen Khan was funny in a way that I felt it was a bit.
Honestly, yeah. In a way, sorry.
I felt it was a bit. What's the word? Not very culturally sensitive
Yeah.
kind of thing.
Okay, honestly, this could be like a direct
Spin-off.
sequel.
Yeah, okay.
Sequel to Citizen Khan, because Citizen Khan, the main character, is still an immigrant, right?
Right.
So he's still living the old country's life.
Yeah.
He's still he's still Pakistani. Like this one, he's full on English. He's from Birmingham, to be specific. He's a roadman as well. So he's a second generation of what Citizen Khan is. So I think, I mean, okay, as you said, Citizen Khan may be culturally insensitive, but I think for the time it was.
Right,
It
but I don't
makes
use the word
sense.
culturally insensitive because I feel like it's a good show and it's funny
Yeah.
and I laughed.
Yeah.
It's just that maybe it's not like it was for that age, you
Yeah,
know,
for
at
that
that
age,
time. This is a more
Yeah,
grounded
Yeah.
one
I mean,
for this age.
literally, if it's a show is about that this guy is Citizen Khan's son, it's like, okay, it makes sense.
Makes
you know?
sense.
It's like, it's the next story, the next chapter
Yeah.
of what happens when the immigrants, what happens to their children when they grew up in this country, you know?
Yeah, in England somewhere.
Yeah,
in England.
In Birmingham.
You know
also.
what I really like about this show?
Yeah.
One of the other things I like about the show is that the cast of characters they got,
Yes.
like all except one character which I don't like, but the rest of them, really great characters. Don't want to spoil anything, so
Okay.
I'm just gonna leave it at that. I'm gonna say that there's two particular characters that I'm like always in awe of when I see them on the screen. I'm just like, what's the story with this guy? You know, like
Okay.
what's up with him? Like, why is he like this? You know,
Okay. I
like
understand.
I won't spoil who it is.
I think
but
I know who you're talking about.
yeah.
Yeah.
So-
Cereal. Cereal with water.
Yeah,
Okay. Yeah. You and me on the same boat.
Yeah,
Yep.
so that's the cool thing.
Yep.
That I think that is really cool about Man Like Mobeen, and it does do a lot of social messaging and all that. So I think that's really awesome. And I think a lot of people have watched this already, but it's Formula One, and the show is called Formula One Drive to Survive. It's the Formula One biopic.
So Nick,
For-
are you a big Formula One fan in general? Have you been
Uh,
following the season?
I follow Formula One from time to time, but I've never been like what's the word? I've never been a hardcore Formula One fan, let's say. But then I wasn't for a while. I'm a big Lewis Hamilton fan, and I love Mercedes.
Yeah, he just got current champion
Yeah,
last week. yeah.
he's the record champion right now. There's a lot of argument whether him or Schumacher is the better champion, right?
Mhm.
And what Formula One this show did was it brought me back into F1
Okay.
because I
okay.
have to admit I was like an estranged son from F1. I was like, watch it, don't watch it. What do I? Is there any need to follow it? You know. Then I watched this show. I watched Drive to Survive, and I realized, holy crap! Like, I love when Netflix do sports documentaries, and Formula One is one of those shows because it acts like a melodrama mixed with an informative docu series, mixed with a like a interview show, talk show, and stuff like that. Some of the best things that I learned from this series are from the young racers. Like there was a segment on Albon.
Yeah. David
The
Albon.
Red Bull driver.
Half Thailand, half English.
Yeah. We're not gonna sign with you. We're not gonna get the engine from you and stuff.
Yeah, so
I learned a lot about engines too in this
yeah,
show.
Oh yeah. I myself was I used to follow it a lot. F1. I was a huge Williams fan.
Williams fan.
So okay, Williams right now is Williams is, how can I say it?
Not so hot right now.
If they were gone, I think no one would miss them.
Oh, damn man.
I think, but yeah, it
That
hurts.
hurts.
It hurts saying that I'm a
Mhm.
Williams fan through and through.
Mm.
But okay, I do love how I saw a few episodes of it. Like, I didn't watch the whole episode,
Mm.
but with what I saw, I do like the build up of the team structure. They like see it's from the racers. They will tell the story of the racers, and then the story of the engineers, random guy like doing engine checks and all that. Then there's the history of the team, and then you get the owner's perspective
Yeah,
of it.
the
So
owners, yeah.
there's a lot of stories and perspective from this series. It's not just from one driver. That's it.
Exactly.
So that's what I like about it.
I think the F1 did a great job giving access
Yeah.
to these guys, like the in-depth look
Yeah.
at how this works. Dude, can you imagine they did this for the Premier League?
Yeah.
Oh
in,
my God.
In everyone's perspective,
Yeah.
from the players
to the
to some the
owners.
tea ladies,
Yeah.
and then to the owners.
If they do a job as good as the one they did for F1,
Yeah.
that would be amazing. Like the
Yeah.
way they choreographed the show,
Yeah.
the Daniel Ricciardo moments
Yeah,
that
yeah,
we
yeah.
didn't really. I've never really seen Daniel Ricciardo like that until I actually watched the show.
Talk about hyping someone to be a world champion.
Dude, he's been hyped. Like this is hype, but I
Yeah.
mean, he's been pretty crap when he's come to try.
Yeah.
But as a character, he's kind of funny.
Yeah.
And then Verstappen, oh my God, bro.
Yes.
Verstappen crazy. Yeah.
Okay, not to get too much spoilers in our hands, but okay, there was a team that essentially disintegrated because of an owner.
Right.
So in that case, you would think they will just focus on the owner itself, right? But no, the structure is they will talk about the two drivers. They have a history against each other. They will fight against each other, and then they will talk about the engineers who's like saying, okay, everything is bad. We're bad, and then suddenly you get the accountant saying that okay, our balance is not checking out and all that. So the team is like internal struggle, and then the owner itself did something wrong.
Right.
Let's just say broke the law lah. And then you get like this main event where everything is falling apart. So it's like usually I think a bad filmmaker will just focus on the owners and the team itself. They won't focus on everything else. I mean, they really push the boundaries in getting most out of what they have. You know?
I think the filmmakers were given license to do that.
Yeah.
That's the best thing about
I mean,
this
it's
whole
not
thing.
just license to do that. It's just like I think if a guy who's not that creative, they will just pick like the most important thing. They will not pick about all those other things. But in this case, they literally show in everyone's perspective.
Yeah,
for example,
the perspective was great. One of my
Yeah.
favorite moments in the show, I'm not going to spoil, but basically when they started talking about Mercedes, everything was great. Like, the focus was given to the team's inside workings.
Yes.
You got to visit the training area.
Yes.
You got to visit where they make the cars, the engines, the facilities. We got to visit the Red Bull manager's house.
Yeah.
You know, and I was like, whoa, like how much access are they giving these guys?
Yeah.
It's like complete access. And I think we're gonna see more sports people do this.
Yeah,
by the way,
I think this is a very good marketing tool for the sport itself.
exactly.
Yeah, I mean, like, I want to see the Premier League do this.
If the Premier League do this, dude.
in this structure, not
Yeah.
not like a generic.
Never mind
just-
Premier League. If the La Liga also do this as well, it'll be great.
Yeah.
Like I can imagine like people watching it. And the great thing about F1, you know what the great thing about F1 is? F1 has started now their marketing thing with YouTube. They're going in putting more videos on YouTube.
Yeah.
Lando Norris is now every chick's like fantasy
Yeah.
or something.
And what I like about the F1 is like they is F1 in general, not about the show, but I think they even like go to content creators that review F1. They really they find them and then they say let's do a collaboration.
Yeah.
I think F1 itself is like trying to push their brand itself as a whole.
I hope they sort out all the stuff with the engines and the
Yeah.
and the whole thing.
So maybe one day we could talk about F1 and then F1 will
Yeah.
just approach us. Hey, we need some F1 influencers
I
from
mean,
Malaysia.
F1 needs to do this, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Because the sport, like for me, F1 is kind of like it was being left behind.
I mean, it is almost dying.
Yeah.
I mean, let's just
Because it's an expensive sport.
Yeah. Not only that, I think people are losing interest in it. Let's. It's not becoming marketable as anymore. Like, to be honest.
Considering that the entire car is
Yeah.
filled with marketing.
Yeah.
like,
Yeah, honestly, like it is a dying sport. A lot for me myself. I used to be like I used to watch it every week, just like football. It's like but then now I don't. So a lot of fans that are my friends who used to be F1 fans are the same as well. They lose interest of the sport.
yeah.
So I think with this show,
Yeah, I was one of those people as
Yeah,
well.
I mean, like you
yeah,
say,
I was just like only recently I'm like, okay, let's give it a try
yeah,
again.
so
you know,
it's
and
like a
yeah.
marketing tool as well. It's like
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's exactly what it is.
Yeah.
It's a really efficient marketing tool, and one of the reasons why you like to watch
Yeah.
F1 for me anyway. When I go and watch like the shows and stuff, and when I went for the Singapore Grand Prix a few years back, the races are big. The cars and how they're decorated, like how the logos and all of the companies are on it,
yeah.
the way they market, you know. And Pit the car girls also not
yeah,
bad,
yeah,
but,
yeah,
like,
not bad, yeah.
like,
Yes.
but I mean, in general, F1 is a sport that needs to do more outreach to the grassroots.
Yes. Yes.
The fan bases for
And-
sure.
There's one example in this one. They hyped about, I think, which is pretty good. Obviously, one team they changed the engine, and when the new engines came in, they really hyped that engine. So you get to see how VTEC came back to the F1.
Right.
Yeah. So yeah, I think that's just a pretty good.
For people who don't understand what Dazlan's talking
It's
about.
about Honda. Honda came back.
Yeah.
Yeah, as a constructor, as a video engine maker.
But
Yeah. So that's pretty interesting to show.
that's a big thing.
Not only that, it's like it's a good hyping tool. Let's
Yeah.
say like another engine. Let's say like Proton suddenly is making a engine for this team next season. With this show they will hype Proton like cow until next season. Like really crazy.
Wait, hey, Petronas is already in it.
Yeah, yeah.
Petronas is very much featured.
Petronas
and-
is owning everyone.
Yeah.
How Petronas is owning this decade is even more dominant than how Renault was dominating the early of last decade, and even more dominant than Ferrari owning last decade, I think,
Mm.
if you ask me.
I mean, yeah, I like the show, man.
Yeah.
Like, show's great to watch. I got a kick out of it.
Yes.
I love seeing the racing riverries. Like, I like how much.
storylines. I like
love
the banter also.
Yeah, the banter is pretty funny as well.
But he's not a good driver. I am. Talk about Pep and
Yeah.
Jose Mourinho. You go,
Yeah.
this is like, oh crap, man. He's like couple. So my next show is very hyped. It was pretty good reviews. I think you probably heard about it.
I think everyone and their mother has heard about this show, bro.
Everyone who had Netflix will heard of this show lah. It's called Tiger King, Murder, Mayhem, and Madness. So this is about obviously about two. Well, okay, you want to say three. How do I say this? They own a zoo full of tigers.
They
But,
basically are
yeah.
exotic wildlife
Yeah.
sanctuary
Yeah,
teaching
sanctuary, like
thingy that ends up being a thing in America for some reason.
yeah, like
In the middle of Florida.
The main guy, Joe Exotic, has like he is not qualified. Let's just be safe. He's not really qualified to be opening
I don't know.
a zoo like this.
Is he
But
qualified or not? Because they said at the beginning he was kind of qualified, but
to
he
me,
turned into something else.
I mean,
like-
to me, it's like it literally like a guy taking up his hobby and making money out of it. Is in captivity in the U.S. than they are in the wild, in the world, in the whole world.
in captivity, right?
Yeah, they have more tigers in captivity than there is in the wild. Yeah.
The curious thing about this show is that it takes a really in-depth look at the exotic pet trade.
Yeah,
I thought that it's so dark. I'll be honest with you. When I watched the episode the first time around with my mother, I was watching it, and we were just watching the show. And after the first episode and a half, I literally couldn't stomach it anymore because it's just watching these poor baby tigers just struggle. It's like I don't know. It hurt a part of me.
yeah, I understand.
I don't know why. I just felt that way for a while. Later, I would come back and I would finish watching the whole show, and found there's a lot to this show that I originally did not expect. It strays quite a far way away from the tigers in the middle there, and goes into some other
Yeah,
dark
yeah.
place.
As the title suggests, there's a whole lot of madness, a whole lot of mayhem, and there's also murder in it.
Yeah, but
So yeah, there's a lot of conspiracy about that.
just like and
Yeah.
also like how like these characters are, right?
Yeah.
Like Joe Exotic is like
You know, like every character here looks like a South Park parody of a guy.
South Park, yeah.
It looks like a parody. Like you can't imagine this guy is real. That's his personality. Is like this has to be like a joke. He has to be in on
Yeah.
it. Right? Like no, it is their real personality. And,
I'm telling you, man, like this is like reality television times 100 on steroids.
yeah.
And what can go wrong did go
Yeah,
wrong.
and everything that's wrong, it's all Carol Baskin's fault.
To be, you know what?
Yeah.
No,
Yeah,
okay.
Carol Baskin.
Low key, I don't really trust Carol Baskins, but
Yeah,
But-
you know,
but
no, we're not
I
saying
will leave
anything.
it.
We're
I
not
will
saying
leave it.
anything, Yeah.
I'm Carol Baskins. Please, I like you, and all. Please don't kill me. Thank
So yeah, Carol Baskin
sorry.
is the other lady with the cat.
She's one of the characters in the show.
Sanctuary, yeah.
Yeah.
She has a sanctuary.
Yeah.
lah.
She and
like,
that
yeah,
Bhagwan guy.
yeah, yeah.
Is his name Bhagwan?
I think it is.
Bhagwan, right? Yeah, those two. They're crazy.
Yeah.
Sorry. So again, not crazy. You guys are okay, lah. But you know what I mean. They're colorful characters.
Yeah, they are flamboyant. I see.
Flamboyant.
Flamboyant.
In
yeah.
their own way, right?
Yeah. I just love how Carol Baskins has a sanctuary, while Joe Exotic has an exotic zoo. So it's like more or less the same thing. It's just
They all have the same thing.
yeah, it's the same thing.
All three of them are the same people.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
just different quirks, I guess. But
yeah.
otherwise, like, oh my god.
So yeah, a lot of things are happening in this show, not just about tigers. So we don't want to get much into a lot of spoilers here. So okay, as you said, it's hard to watch, but in the end, you got through it.
I got through it. And
Through the hype. It's because of the hype, right? That's
this
why
is-
you watched everything.
Yeah, because at the end of the day, you kind of need to watch it.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that you need to watch it. By the way, we don't want to watch it. Don't watch it. But like, you kind of need to to understand the essence of this show.
They need to show the world that this happens. Like
Yeah.
literally, this is a thing.
Yeah,
I wouldn't believe it, lah. If you honestly, I seriously did not believe it at all.
that it happened or
Like,
that it was.
It's so freely easy to do that.
Oh.
Yeah.
Apparently it is, man.
Yeah.
I mean, look at how they handle guns and stuff. Like
yeah.
whatever's dangerous, usually you can get access to it.
Yeah, okay.
I find that when they bring all these tigers here, I just think the way they breed the tigers, and the way they just misuse the tigers, and the feeding, the parts that really hurt me, is when they feed that they feed the carcass of a dead animal,
Oh yeah.
and you see like 15 tigers fighting over it.
Yes.
And then you're like, what the heck? Why? You know, why are they being fed like this? It's literally like them having to fight for food. You know what I mean? And that was the part that really kind of like, I felt bad lah. Basically, it was one of those things where you can just look at it and go, what the heck is going on? These guys are crazy. There's a lot of stuff also about Joe Exotic specifically in this show that comes up.
He's certainly a very colorful character lah. I mean, he had a run in at politics as well.
Yeah, he
But
did.
yeah.
That's an interesting one. You'll see it in the
Yeah.
show.
Without getting too much spoiler, but yeah, he does.
It's just like that whole situation was bizarre.
Yeah.
That whole situation also like only in America can this happen, right?
Yeah. Like not only in America, it has to be that specific
It's a
state as well.
specific state.
Yeah, in the south or something.
In Florida.
Yeah.
Like, whoa.
Yeah.
And yeah, just like the whole thing descended into madness,
Yeah.
if you ask me.
They are literally a parody of themselves. They don't need South Park or Simpson to like make fun of them.
Yeah.
They're a character already.
I do hope that more people are in tuned with the exotic animal trade.
I think that's why that's a good thing about this show. I think they make people more
Stop and think about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So let's just see how it goes. It's a good show.
Yep.
Yeah, even like Nikhil like he couldn't stomach through it the first time. But over time
I couldn't like stand it because it was
yeah.
so.
But over time because of the hype and from his curiosity he binged through it lah.
yeah.
So it's yeah. So
Pretty
okay.
much.
Let's move on to your other
So
show.
yeah, the final show that we're going to talk about today, and the show which I'm picking. Not a show, not a TV show. It's an animated show,
Yeah, animated original from Netflix.
but it's not a Netflix original.
It's not?
It's not. Castlevania.
Okay.
Did you know that Castlevania is a classic game?
Oh, okay. Yes. Okay. It's a
Yes,
class.
it is.
It's an original adaptation, if you want to put it that way. yeah.
Exactly, it is.
I actually played a lot of the games. Yeah.
You did?
Yeah.
Which ones did you play?
All the NES version.
Yeah, the NES
yeah.
version.
The PS2 version, 3D version. No.
No, I played a few of the NES versions.
Yeah.
I played Dark Shadow.
Oh, okay.
That
Yeah.
one.
Yeah.
The Castlevania franchise is interesting, but look, guys, if you're looking to get into the Castlevania franchise, just watch this show and be done with
you
it.
don't have to play the games.
No,
Yeah,
but
you don't have to play the games.
because the problem with playing the games is you're gonna be lost.
Yes.
You have no idea
You're
what the
gonna
universe
break
is.
your controller and all that.
All you need to know is there's Dracula, Alucard, and something. Show. But like, I feel so connected with the plot and the fighting scenes,
Yeah.
and the art is so beautiful. And I don't know how many people, I don't know how many of us are huge anime fans here, but I would say that this one feels more like a Western style animation, but a much more grounded, rich texture kind of
Yes.
storyline, right?
Yeah.
And I feel this one told a great story in English
Yeah.
as well, which is usually something we're not used to when we're
The
watching.
voice acting is pretty good
The
as well.
voice acting is on point.
It's like a live action acting, you know.
Exactly.
Seriously.
Yeah. Like, I think Alucard's voice is great. I think the girl's voice is great. You meet the girl.
Yep.
And the guy's voice is great. You meet the guy.
Simon Belmont.
We don't want to spoil any names or anything. I can spoil Alucard because obviously you know he's going to come
Yeah.
up.
Belmont is the main guy.
Yeah. The whole cast
Yeah.
is done well. And one of the best performances in this show, I'm going to say it right now, one of the best performances in this Castlevania show is whoever does that voice acting for Dracula.
Yes.
Holy crap.
You can feel the emotion through the voice.
I felt it.
Yeah.
I
It's voice
felt it.
acting.
I'm not even going to spoil what happens,
Yeah.
but it's just, whoa, hey,
Oh,
Daz,
sorry
I
about
know
that.
you're excited, la bro,
Yeah,
but don't
yeah.
kill the mic.
No, you say Dracula.
I can see our
I,
producer going like crazy.
I don't want Dracula to come here. lah, 'cause it's just We cannot simply say his name, bro.
You don't say his name in public. It's just like it's just the way they handled that character was like, oh, good.
You
Like,
can feel his
freaking good.
emotion, and it's only voice acting. It's not live
Yeah,
action.
exactly.
It really does feel like a live action emotion. You know?
I do feel like there's a few seasons of this show. I don't know if you've watched both seasons or not.
I watched all.
You watched everything?
episode,
Yeah, same. And I thought even when it went to season 2, I felt, oh, level is still there. Like,
Yeah.
it kept the level. And
Yeah.
it kept, like, pushing it, you know what I mean?
Yes.
It's straightforward. It's detailed. The weapons and all on point. The designs of the characters are on point. You know, I don't think like we should even mess with that. I think like
Yeah, that's true.
I think like the series can go on. My biggest fear with these kinds of shows always is the budget.
Yeah, it's very well made.
Yeah,
like
it's
very
super well made.
And the art, I mean, the action in this game, in this, I mean, in this show, is just very beautiful.
I just hope that they have the budget to keep going with this show and keep
Yeah,
producing it.
yeah.
You know?
You know,
Be-
it's shows like this is the reason why people take Netflix up. You know,
Yeah.
it's like this original shows.
Because
like
the
this.
Netflix original, yeah.
Yeah,
It's definitely one of my favorite shows, because just like the three. First of all, the main characters are amazing, and then the villain's amazing, and the villain's not even a villain technically.
yeah.
I
and-
mean,
and
you know what I mean.
yeah.
Like,
There's a whole lot of subplots
debate
there.
and
Yeah.
all. Yeah,
Not only that, and
I get it.
the violence in the game as well is.
but I'm just saying that his performance specifically made me go like, you know what, go ahead,
He ain't bad.
go ahead.
He's
you know?
he's alright.
Yeah, we needed that culling anyway,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
like,
yeah.
those stupid humans.
He gave a warning, you know. But yeah, I mean, like the violence. Holy crap!
Violence is this show's pretty gory. I guess if you're
it deserves a rated R. It's like, yeah.
definitely
Yeah,
rated R, definitely. But I mean, like, the gore is really detailed,
yeah.
but the fighting scenes are
Yes.
even more detailed. The fights are what makes this show even
Yeah.
better.
Not only about the fights. There's a few fan service about it.
Oh.
Fan service. I mean, like for the video game fans, they have a few soundtrack from the games.
Right.
So maybe you might think it's like a good song, but then for the fans, when they know the song already, it's like, holy crap, this is like a legit remix, you know? Especially in a lot of the action scene.
Right.
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah.
That's
So-
pretty impressive.
Yeah. So you might think it's an original soundtrack, but no, man, it was from the games around 30 years ago, 35 years ago.
Damn.
That music already existed. They just like tune it up, you know?
Yeah,
So
man.
it's like,
Like
wow.
I like Castlevania. I hope they keep making. They're off doing other things.
Is it made by Westerners as well?
Yeah.
Same concept, lah.
Yeah, in
So
a way.
It's not like an anime, lah. It's not made by.
It's not an anime. It's pretty much supposed to be what this was, but
Okay.
this Castlevania does it like 6 million times better.
Yeah, I think the
but
budget.
for
is
that
there.
one, watch just the opening. If you watch the opening, it's really good for the Dragon's Dogma one.
Okay.
But you can see they're trying to make Dragon's Dogma. They're trying to make a few other stuff to try and be like this Castlevania thing.
Mm.
But it's just not happening because Castlevania is one of a kind.
Yeah. I mean,
The show is one of a kind
Yeah,
for
I
me.
mean, honestly, it doesn't piggyback off the games at all. Of course, they take the main storyline, but you know, it doesn't piggyback off the game at all. They don't do that much over fan service.
Yeah.
They do a lot of original content because obviously it's from an NES game 35 years ago. You know, it's very simple. Like, guy kills Dracula. There's no side missions.
Guy
There's nothing you can do.
kill Dracula.
Yeah, I mean, like that's literally the games, you know. The
Mm.
guy kills Dracula, go blah 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 blah, action. Like, this script writers still had to use a lot of original content.
Yeah.
They have to make a lot of things up, you know.
I agree.
Yeah, so like in a way, it does not piggyback off the game at all. Like, it doesn't do a lot of fan service where every scene will be like an Easter egg, where like suddenly the soundtrack will be played every minute. They don't do that. They do that when they need to only.
Yeah.
I think most adaptation like this, they would piggyback off the brand and they will like put the game soundtrack in every scene. Like they will overdo it. But this game is the best. This show did it the best.
Yeah, that's the thing, right? Now that this show is done it like this,
Yeah.
do you see like, you know what I think might happen?
Yeah.
I think that stuff like Halo
Mhm.
and slowly stuff like Kingdom Hearts
Yes.
or something like maybe something like a Metal Gear.
Not only that, you said that. Yeah, I agree that. Especially games where you can't fit it in a movie.
Yeah.
You need like a series.
Series, yeah.
Yeah, not only that. But you know what? I do see them going hidden gem games, like games that are not well known, maybe not famous, but they have a legit storyline. They might just take that and just make it into a series. Like obviously the game's creator of that whatever low budget game is it, not even low budget, like underrated game. They see this as a marketing tool, you know. So we might get a lot of adaptation of games that we might not heard of. I can see that lah, but like you said, you said a very legit games as well, like Halo and all that. I can see that happening as well. Yep.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think what you're talking about basically like publicizing lesser known games, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So
yeah.
for example, something like PS5's release of My Little Devil,
Yeah,
and
something
then they
like
do
that.
like
yeah.
a whole series on that, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Or
that'd
like
be pretty cool.
Like
actually.
let's say like
I'd dig that
for example, like a lesser known Nintendo game, like
title.
yeah, like a
You
Captain
know,
Falcon
you
or
know
something.
what? You know what's a lesser known Nintendo title, Dazlan?
Yeah, yeah.
Zelda. I'm kidding, by the way.
The-
No,
which
that's
is-
not. It's
okay.
not.
No,
lesser known.
but Zelda would be a very good way to.
That's what I'm saying. Like this
yeah.
thing, I was
Yeah, yeah.
when I saw this, then I looked at Breath of the Wild and I was like, man, they made this into a series. These would be the way to do it, right?
yeah,
like
yeah,
it would be
yeah.
this kind of style.
Yeah, yeah,
You know what I mean?
yeah.
With minus the gore and the
Yeah,
sex
yeah,
and
of course, yeah.
you know, all that stuff.
Yeah, yeah. No spoilers.
Sounds
yeah.
good to me.
Yeah. So yeah, maybe they do it with Mario. You know what? Yeah, who knows?
Oh, maybe,
Who knows?
maybe,
Yeah.
maybe.
I do see Netflix taking a dying IP as well. Doesn't have to be a successful one. Doesn't have to even be about games. It could be like a dying book or something.
Book.
And just a dying series and just.
There's
reboot it,
some
yeah.
ongoing Netflix series now that pretty much similar to this. Like Dragon Prince is one.
Mhm.
There's some other series ongoing, other shows, you know, on Netflix and on other platforms, obviously. I would say that the interesting, like Dragon's Dogma was one, but Dragon's Dogma turned out to be crap.
Mhm.
But if you watch the opening, it's good. I promise. The opening is fantastic. If you just watch that, it's okay. Castlevania itself as a show, it's pretty much like, it's so interesting. You can do another 2 seasons of it.
Yeah.
And I probably won't get bored.
Yeah.
I'd probably watch it again. And you know, it's
They
it's
pretty
really good.
tease like the next big thing is coming up. So
I hope so, man. I
Yeah.
hope like COVID doesn't affect anyone.
yeah.
I get the show and all. So before we end the segment, is there any other show that you're currently watching that you haven't finished yet that you want to bring attention, that you think is pretty cool?
I'm not really watching any other shows right now per se,
Mm.
but I do wanna watch one show. It's called Picard.
Picard, okay.
Yeah, which is the sequel
the
to
Star Trek one, right?
Yeah, it's a sequel to Star Trek Next Generation. I really want to see that.
I see.
Yeah.
It's our brother. What's the name? Kevin Stewart.
Patrick Stewart.
Patrick Stewart.
Patrick
That's
Sir
the one.
Patrick Stewart.
How do I- Sir.
Sir
Patrick Stewart.
Yes.
I'm sorry, Mr. Stewart.
Admiral Jean-Luc Picard. He's an admiral in this series, by the way.
Is it?
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah.
I didn't I always knew that you like space stuff, but
Yeah. Yeah.
I had no idea you were a big Picard fan.
Yes. Yes.
You always
yes.
seem more like what's that? Kirk to me,
Man,
Captain Kirk guy.
no, you know, there's always a dilemma between Star Trek fans. Do I like Kirk or do I like Picard? Why not both? They're not rivals to each other, you know. It's like no spoilers, but you know, Picard literally pick up the mantle from Kirk.
Dazlan, you
Yep.
sweet naive child.
Yes.
How dare you underestimate fandoms? They're coming after you, man. It's gonna be like you don't choose a side. We make you choose a side. You know.
So,
I think I don't know. I've not watched enough Star Trek to be an either or.
Yeah.
I've probably watched more of Captain Kirk and then
Yes.
Zac Efron's version of it in the movies.
Zac Efron.
Yeah.
You
No,
mean
is it
Chris
Zac
Pine,
Efron?
dog?
Chris Pines.
Chris Pine.
Shit. Okay,
That's
I'm
a-
sorry. I'm
That's
sorry.
a whole different
Right,
universe.
right. Chris Pine's version.
That's
Captain Kirk.
that's not canon for me, lah.
That's not canon for you.
That's not canon for me.
Come on, man. You have to admit, Shadow of Darkness in that one is pretty good.
Okay, lah, it's okay.
That was great.
Yeah, it's great. But
Benedict Cumberbatch as Khan.
Yeah. Okay. Yes. All
It
right.
was pretty impressive.
Yes.
You
Yeah.
gotta say.
Yeah. He's pretty good.
I mean, is this Picard thing gonna be an adventure story thing or?
No, it's more on humanity. Okay, adventure. Yes, in a way.
Right. So you'll be going to different planets and all
yes.
that stuff, right?
Yes.
Like
yes.
your adventural thing.
Yes. As an old admiral.
You know the funny thing is, right now, recently I'm watching some K dramas, but you know,
I did not expect that.
yeah, I was watching the startup recently.
Is it because of the chicks?
No lah, it's just I don't know why. Maybe it's just because this one I don't watch all, but this one kind of like is interesting because it's about like a startup business
Okay.
and how startup businesses work in Korea.
Okay.
So that's the thing that was interesting. With
So
this one.
it's a whole lot different in Malaysia, I guess, or from many other countries.
A whole lot different.
Yeah. Okay. So what's the show called?
It's called a startup.
Startup. Okay. Yeah, startup.
You get straight to the point.
Yeah. Okay.
I think it's a good show. Another show that I really like and that I've been trying to watch as of late is I actually been really keyed into this show, and I've watched a lot of the documentaries, but one of them is Last Chance U.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's about the football team.
American football, yeah.
Yes.
Maybe you won't. It's somewhat similar to F1 in the fact that it's a real thing, but the chances are, if you're gonna watch American football videos, right, and you want to watch something where they're all like, like a proper documentary series and all, right? It's a good show to watch. That's all I'm gonna say.
Yeah.
Give
okay.
Last Chance U a chance.
That's all right. That's a good show.
Yeah.
So all right.
Yeah. So, what are your favorite shows that you're watching currently, already watched, that you want to recommend? I'm recommending Castlevania and the F1 show from Drive to Survive.
Yep.
Please smash that like button, guys, and we will see you on the flip side.
All right. See you guys.